Your phone buzzes. Text from a friend. Can you help me move this Saturday? You already have plans. You're exhausted. You've helped this friend move twice already. You don't want to spend your one free Saturday hauling boxes up 3 flights of stairs in July heat. But your thumb hovers over the keyboard and you type, "Yeah, of course. What time?" Because saying no feels like saying, "I don't care about you. I'm selfish. I'm a bad friend." So you say yes. Again. And you show up on Saturday. And you're resentful the entire time. And you go home exhausted and angry at yourself for not having a backbone. And the worst part? This isn't just about moving. It's about everything. It's saying yes to the extra project at work when you're already drowning. Yes to hosting Thanksgiving when you're burned out. Yes to the coffee date you don't want. Yes to staying on the phone for an hour when you need to go. Yes to everyone about everything all the time. Because somewhere along the way, you learned that yes makes you good and no makes you bad. But let me tell you what nobody's saying out loud. That belief is destroying you, and everyone around you can feel it. You weren't born feeling guilty about boundaries. Watch a 2-year-old. They have zero problem with no. Ask them to share their toy? No. Ask them to eat their vegetables? No. Ask them to go to bed? No, no, no. And they don't apologize for it. They don't explain it. They don't feel bad about it. They just don't want to. And that's enough. But somewhere between toddlerhood and now, you learned that no needs justification. That saying no makes you selfish, difficult, unkind. That good people say yes. That loving people sacrifice. That if you're not available 24/7, you're failing. And who taught you that? Maybe it was your parents. Family helps family. Don't be selfish. What will people think? So you learned that your needs come last. That taking care of yourself means neglecting others. That boundaries are betrayal. Maybe it was the church, the temple, the mosque. Messages about sacrifice, servanthood, putting others first. It's better to give than receive. Die to yourself. Your suffering has meaning. So you learned that self-denial equals righteousness. That pain is proof of goodness. Maybe it was school, the teacher who praised you for being so helpful when you stayed late to clean up everyone else's mess. The coach who rewarded you for playing hurt. The guidance counselor who told you that saying no to opportunities means you're not ambitious enough. Maybe it was romantic relationships, partners who needed you to be endlessly available, who took offense when you needed space, who made you feel like boundaries meant you didn't love them enough. So you learned that love means having no limits. Maybe it was work culture, bosses who expected you to answer emails at 11 p.m., colleagues who called you a team player when you picked up their slack. A culture that equates burnout with dedication and rest with laziness. Or maybe it was just everywhere. Every message you absorbed from movies, TV shows, Instagram posts about being a good mom, a good friend, a ride or die, someone who shows up. The glorification of exhaustion. The badges of honor for having no boundaries. And now here you are. A grown adult who feels physically sick at the thought of disappointing someone, who rehearses no in your head 50 times and still can't say it, who apologizes before, during, and after setting even the tiniest boundary. Your nervous system has been trained to interpret no as danger, like if you say it, something terrible will happen. They'll leave, they'll be angry, they'll think you're selfish, they'll stop loving you, so you say yes to keep yourself safe, even when it's killing you. Let's talk about what happens when you never say no. First, you get tired. Not just physically tired, though that's part of it. Soul tired. The kind of exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix because it's not about rest. It's about the constant betrayal of yourself. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you're sending yourself a message. Your needs don't matter. Your feelings don't count. Your time isn't valuable. Other people's comfort is more important than your sanity. And you hear that message. Your body hears it. Your nervous system hears it. So you start getting sick more often. Your anxiety spikes. You can't sleep, or you sleep too much. You're irritable with the people you actually love because you're so busy taking care of people you don't even like that much. You start having stress dreams about showing up to things you forgot you agreed to. Second, you lose yourself. Because when you're always molding yourself to what other people need, you stop knowing what you need. You stop knowing what you like, what you want, who you even are when no one's asking you for anything. You become a shell, a yes machine, a people pleaser who's so good at reading everyone else's needs that you can't read your own anymore. And the tragic irony? The people you're people-pleasing don't even respect you for it. They just keep taking, because you've taught them that you have no limits, that they can ask for anything and you'll say yes, that your time and energy are free and unlimited. You think saying yes makes people love you, but what it actually does is train them to see you as a resource, not a person. Third, your resentment builds. Every yes you didn't mean sits inside you like a stone, and eventually you're carrying so many stones you can barely move. And that resentment, it leaks out in passive-aggressive comments, in doing the thing you agreed to but doing it badly or with obvious annoyance, in snapping at people who didn't do anything wrong because you're furious at yourself for saying yes again, or it explodes. You finally hit your limit and you blow up at someone who just asked you to do one more small thing. And now you feel guilty for that too, so you apologize. And you say yes to make up for it, and the cycle continues. Fourth, and this is the one nobody talks about, you become a bad friend, a bad partner, a bad parent, a bad employee. Because half-assing things you never wanted to do isn't actually kindness. Showing up resentful isn't love. Saying yes when you mean no creates bad outcomes for everyone. The friend you're helping move? They can feel that you don't want to be there. The energy is off. You're not present. You're counting the minutes until you can leave. The extra project at work. You're going to do a mediocre job because you're stretched too thin and you hate that you agreed to it. The coffee date? You're not really listening because you're thinking about all the things you should be doing instead. Resentful obligation is worse than honest refusal. At least refusal is clear, clean, respectful of everyone's time and energy. But resentful obligation, it's poisonous for you and for them. Here's the reframe that changed everything for me, and I need you to really hear this. No is not rejection. No is respect. When you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying yes to something that does. You're respecting your own time, energy, and capacity, and you're respecting the other person enough to tell them the truth instead of showing up resentful. Think about it. Would you rather have someone help you who genuinely wants to, or someone who's silently furious the entire time? Would you rather have a friend show up fully present for the things that matter, or barely present for everything because they're stretched too thin? No creates space for real connection, real help, real presence. And here's the uncomfortable truth. If someone can't handle your no, they don't want a relationship with you. They want access to your resources, your time, your labor, your compliance. Real relationships can hold boundaries. Healthy people understand that no doesn't mean I don't care about you. It means I care about both of us enough to be honest. And yeah, some people are going to be mad. Some people are going to call you selfish. Some people are going to push back because they liked the version of you that never said no. Let them. Those are not your people. Your people will respect your no. Your people will say, okay, no problem. Let me know if anything changes. Your people will not guilt you, manipulate you, or make you feel like a bad person for having limits. And if your circle is full of people who can't handle your boundaries, you need a new circle. Okay, practical time. Because knowing you should say no and actually saying it are two different things. Step 1. Stop explaining. This is the biggest mistake people make. Someone asks you to do something. You don't want to. So you launch into this elaborate explanation. I'd love to, but I have this thing, and also my dog's sick and I'm really tired, and maybe next time though. Stop. All you need is, I can't, but thank you for thinking of me. Or just, no, I'm not available. You don't owe anyone a detailed breakdown of your schedule, your energy levels, or your reasoning. No is a complete sentence. Practice it. Step 2. Delay your response. If you're someone who automatically says yes before your brain catches up, build in a buffer. When someone asks you for something, say, let me check my schedule and get back to you. Then actually check. Not just your calendar. Check your energy, your capacity, your desire. And if the answer is no, text them later. I checked and I'm not going to be able to. Thanks for understanding. Buying yourself time prevents auto-yes. It gives your brain space to assess whether this is actually something you want to do. Step 3. Recognize the guilt is a lie. When you say no, you're going to feel guilty. That guilt is going to scream at you. You're a bad person. They're going to hate you. You're selfish. That guilt is a conditioned response. It's not truth. It's programming. Your job isn't to eliminate the guilt. It's to say no anyway. Feel the guilt and do it anyway. Watch what actually happens. 9 times out of 10, the person says, okay, no worries, and moves on with their life. Because healthy people don't fall apart when you have boundaries. And the 1 time out of 10 when they do get mad or pushy, that's information. That person was relying on your inability to say no. They were taking advantage of you. And now you know. Step 4. Start small. Don't start by saying no to your boss or your mum or your best friend of 20 years. Start with low-stakes situations. The cashier at CVS asks if you want to donate to charity. Say no. Don't explain. Don't apologize. Just, no thank you. Someone invites you to a party you don't want to go to. I can't make it, but thanks for the invite. A colleague asks you to cover their shift. I'm not available, but I hope you find someone. Practice saying no in situations that don't matter much. Build the muscle. Get used to the feeling. Watch the world not end. Then work your way up to the bigger stuff. Step 5. Offer alternatives if you want to, but you don't have to. Sometimes you genuinely care about the person or the situation, but you can't do what they're asking. It's okay to offer an alternative if it works for you. I can't help you move, but I can bring coffee and snacks to the crew. I can't take on that project, but here's someone else who might be able to. I can't do dinner this week, but I'm free next Thursday. But, and this is important, you don't have to offer an alternative. No, by itself is enough. Only offer if you genuinely want to, and it doesn't create resentment. Let me tell you what actually happens when you start protecting your boundaries. First, you'll lose some people. Not necessarily permanently, but some relationships will shift. The ones that were built on your compliance will fade, and that's going to hurt. But the relationships that survive, they'll get deeper, stronger, more real, because they're based on actual connection, not obligation. Second, you'll have more energy. Suddenly you're not showing up to 10 things a week you hate. You're not spending your weekends doing favors for people who never return them. You have time, space, room to breathe. And in that space, you'll start to remember who you are, what you like, what you actually want, not what you think you should want, not what everyone else needs from you, what you want. Third, The people who matter will respect you more. Counterintuitive, right? But it's true. When you have boundaries, people know where they stand with you. They know your yes means yes. They know you're showing up because you want to, not because you're trapped. And that's so much more valuable than people-pleasing compliance. Fourth, you'll feel guilty for a while, and then, slowly, the guilt will fade. You'll say no, and you won't spiral for 3 days wondering if you're a terrible person. You'll say no, and you'll feel light, free, powerful, because you've finally stopped betraying yourself. And that feeling is peace. What's something you wish you'd said no to sooner? The relationship that drained you for years, the job that destroyed your mental health, the friend who only called when they needed something, the family obligation that made you miserable every time. Type it in the comments. Be specific. Say the thing you've been carrying. Because your story might be the permission someone else needs to finally say no, to stop sacrificing themselves on the altar of other people's comfort, to choose themselves for once. Boundaries aren't selfish. Boundaries teach people how to love us right, how to respect us, how to see us as human beings with limits, not endless resources. And if you're scared to say no, start today. Say it once, just once, and watch how the world doesn't fall apart. Peace lives behind that word. You've just been too scared to open the door. Subscribe if you need weekly reminders that you're allowed to have boundaries, that you're allowed to take up space, that your needs matter just as much as everyone else's. Your time is your life. Spend it wisely. No guilt, just honesty.